Sorry, that was on mute. Hello, Internet, and welcome to another game theory episode. Well, not game theory, my own game theory on my Pokemon Omni Gaming channel. So, yeah, kidding. So, today I'm tackling where the heck Steve came from. Now, we all know the birds and the bees. I think if you're watching this and still think babies come from the stork and cabbage patch, you're under 13 or don't have an internet connection. How are you watching this for the latter? And for the former, it's okay because this video should be family friendly. If you don't have a problem with philosophical meanings behind Minecraft, and maybe, just maybe, being thrown into an existential crisis, of course. But anyway, Mommy Alex plus Daddy Steve equals Baby Steve or Alex. But we know that's not the case, according to the Illager update anyway. Before the Illager update, there was no explanation for how you were put on this world, and there wasn't really major law points that could answer that question. Wait, was it law before that? Eh, don't know. So, the next theory is that the Illagers created him, as they were trying to recreate the experience of the old master builders that Steve said to descend from. Not possible. We see that the Illagers have many failures, such as the poorly constructed inn portal made out of wood that was meant to replicate the inn portal that is found in the strongholds. Okay, so that's just one. But yes, if they did create Steve, why the hospital towards a character who was, according to this theory, their creation? So, no, Steve and Alex was not created by the Illagers. Who then, or what, created us, the player characters? Okay, next, that we ascended from some survivors of the ancient race. How? We know from lore that Wasira, the villages and the villages, including the outcast witches, videos for another time, were all branched out from the ancient master boulders. So where are these boulders? Dead possibly? But then how did we survive? So another thing, the boulders succeeded and ascended to godhood. But then why send us to the mind of war? And how do we have proof that they are gods? Well, not necessarily gods, but we do know that they conquer death. Considering we continuously respawn if we die, and in creative mode we can pull items from thin air. The only problem here is hardcore mode. But it could possibly be that they conquer death by creating some kind of respawner that just switches off when you choose to play in hardcore. And we get even more proof that the body succeeded. Or at least the two who talked to us in the in poem. The two beings in the poems are said to be godlike beings. So what if they were sent to the Minecraft world to see if we were worthy of these godlike statuses, sending us as a descendant of them and letting us roam on the earth as a test? We have to complete the same trials they went through. Unlike the two of them who had lost human borders, who obviously died along the way by becoming zombies, skeletons, whether skeletons, or endermen. That's why to complete the game, we have to defeat the Ender Dragon. It was the one thing that killed most of them, and why the wizard is optional, because even they couldn't do it until they became semi-godlike with their magic and enchanted weapons. And I guess that while I may have brought up good points, but nothing from the poem itself, well, first, I see the player you mean. The player you mean. So they were clearly talking about us before. Second, it has reached a higher level now. It can read our thoughts. We reached a higher level and can be hear them. So we ascended closer to Godhood and can now hear them. Third, it thinks we are part of the game. So they are not part of the game and are beings that can insert themselves into the game. Fourth, it is reading our thoughts as though they were words on the screen. We are reading the thoughts of godlike beings. Fifth, this is how they choose to imagine things when it is deep in the dream of a game. We can read the words of these godlike beings in text on a screen, but it is nothing more than a dream. 6. Words make a wonderful interface, very flexible and less terrifying than staring at the reality behind the screen. The behind the screen is terrifying and they exist on a higher plane. 7. This player dreamed of sunlight and trees, of fire and water. It dreamed it created, and it dreamed it destroyed. It dreamed it hunted and was hunted. It dreamed of a shelter. So, the world around us is a dream, but it also means that the world around us was created by us. Eighth, the original interface, a million years old and it still works. But what true structure did this player create in the reality behind the screen? The original, so the first, but the interface? So this is all a simulation, a fake. More leads to it being a test for us. Ninth, it worked with millions of others to sculpt the true world in the fault of the scrambled and created a scrambled for the scrambled in the scrambled. We work with others. We are the only player character unless they're talking about servers. No, they are talking about other players in other Minecraft worlds. They are also talking about taking the test. We are together, but apart. And as for the scramble words, 10th, no, it has not yet achieved the highest level. That it must achieve in the long dream of life, not the short dream of the game. We have reached the highest levels within the game, but our ascension continues within the real world. We have conquered land, sea, and space in a real life, but have barely seen a single percent fraction of the great universe. We still have a long way to go. We have completed the simulation, testing for a bigger test, the test of life. 11. Does it know we love it, that the universe is kind? The universe is kind. They are godlike beings who have become part of the greater universe, and it loves us. That's why Minecraft was created. It is teaching us what we need to know. It is why creative modes exist, and why we continuously revive. 12. Sometimes, through the noise of its thoughts, it hears the universe, yes. The noise of our thoughts. We are so busy, sometimes we forget to enjoy the moments. The saying, stop to smell the roses, isn't about smelling the flowers. It's about going out and enjoying ourselves. Smelling flowers just so happen to be a large part of enjoying yourself. 13. Yeah, 13. And there's still about 9 pages to go. But there are times it is sad in the long dream. It creates worlds that have no summer, and it suffers under a black sun, and it takes its sad creation for reality. When we are sad, we are losing ourselves. We delusion ourselves with things, seeing us as less than nothing and less than other beings. 14. The cure its sorrow we destroy. The sorrow is part of its own private task. We cannot interfere. But these emotions are still part of us. We should just not let it control us. 15. Sometimes when they are deep in dreams, I want to tell them they are building two worlds in reality. Sometimes I want to tell them of their importance to the universe. Sometimes when they have not made a true connection in a while, I want to help them speak the word they fear. They want to tell us the truth, but they want us to realize it on their own. 16th. Sometimes I do not care. Sometimes wish to tell them you take for the truth is merely scrambled and scrambled. I wish to tell them that they are scrambled in the scrambled. They see so little reality in the long run. We are living in illusions, both the Minecraft world and the real world. It is our minds creating it because we cannot comprehend the full nature of the universe, the true reality. We have not yet reached the highest level. 17th. This video is getting very long. I feel like it should be a two-parter. Or maybe I should continue to pad up my runtime. Sometimes I do not care. Sometimes I want to tell them this world take with is merely scrambled and scrambled. Oh, that's the same thing. We are not actually meant to hear about this, but he or she or it does not care. 18. Too strong for this dream. To tell them how to love is to prevent them living. We have become too strong for Minecraft to fully contain us, but the beings do not want to control our lives, so we continue to play. 19th. Who are we? Once we record the spirits of the mountains, Father, Son, Mother Moon, ancestral spirits, animal spirits, jinn, ghost, green man, the gods, demons, angels, poltergeists, aliens, extraterrestrials, leptons, quarks. The words change. We do not change. The beings are everything and nothing. They are all that ever was, all that ever will be. All everything in the existence are made from the same base materials. Stardust. The atoms of the sun, planets, and moon differ little from the atoms of your body, besides the fact that the planets contain more. 20th. We are the universe. We are everything you think isn't you. You are looking at us now, through your skin and your eyes. And why does the universe touch your skin and throw your light on you? To see you, player, to know you, and to be known. I shall tell you a story. The beings are godlike beings, and they're beyond us. So we think we are everything you think. We are everything you think isn't you. We are limited not by our physical properties, not by some metaphysical constraints, only by our image of self. We see others as better than us, so they are. Little do we know, they think the same. To quote philosopher Bertrand Russell, I think, therefore I am. The power of mind over matter. This is what is limiting us. These beings aren't all powerful, but we see them as such, so we give them power. They are telling us this. 21. I'm so The story now is a little long. Once upon a time, there was a player. The player was you. We are the main character of our own story. Sometimes it thought itself human on the thin crust of a spinning globe of molten rock. The ball of molten rock circled in a blazing gas that was 330,000 times more than it. They were so far apart that light took 8 minutes to cross the gap. The light was information from a star, and it could burn your skin from 150 million kilometers away. We are living in an illusion created for us to comprehend the complexity of the universe. The planet we live on, everything we see, is nothing more than fabricated so that our minds are not broken by the complexity of the universe. Sometimes the player dreamed it was a miner. On the surface of a world it was flat and infinite. The sun was square white, the days were short, there was much to do, and death was a temporary inconvenience. This that going about is Minecraft, the game is played. Sometimes the player dreamed it was lost in a story. When we lose ourselves in the worlds that we see, putting ourselves as the main character of those stories. Sometimes the player dreamed it was other things, in other places. Sometimes these dreams were disturbing, sometimes very beautiful indeed. Sometimes the player woke up from one dream into another, then woke from that into a third. Our dreams and imaginations and every work of media humans created, all of it were dreams we wanted as reality, but would just be dreams within our long dream of life. Sometimes a plane with what was on the screen, what we're currently doing, or we watch something what's up there. The atoms in the air of the player were scattered in the grass, in the rivers, in the air, in the ground. A woman gathered the atoms. She drank and ate and inhaled, and the woman ascended the player in her body. The atoms our body are made of was once what made us someone else, and the woman is our mother. And the player woke from the warm, dark world of its mother's body into the long dream. We are birthed into the dreams, and the player was a new story, never told before, written in letters of DNA, and the player was a new program, never run before, generated by a source code a billion years old, and the player was a new human, never alive before, made from nothing but milk and love. We are something new created from nothing old. We are the same atoms that existed once before, forming into something new. The DNA changing what we are, what we, but we are still the same as we were before. We were born from our parents' seed, but we were already existing once before, taking on a new life. Immortal in a sense, since even when we die, our atoms will live on and form a new human or animal or insect or planet. You are the player, the story, the program, the human made from nothing but milk and love. You are the human, and you are the one who created you. The atoms in one person may have been the atoms you were made from in your past life. The 7 billion atoms of the player's body were created long before this game, in the heart of a star. So the player too is information from a star, and the player moves through a story, which is the force of information planted by a man called Julian on a flat, infinite world created by a man called Marcus, that exists inside a small private world created by a player who inhabits a universe created by. We are part of the universe. We always were and always will be. Everyone is united, create compromise of the same atoms, no matter color, race, species, religion, or nationality. In the end, we were all created from the same base materials, and they one day be used to create new life when ours end. Sometimes the player created a small private world that was soft and warm and simple, sometimes hard and cold, complicated. Sometimes it bore the motto of our universe in its head, flecks of energy moving through vast empty spaces. Sometimes he called those flecks electrons and protons. Sometimes he called them planets and stars. What we see and everything we are responsible for it. We create what is the universe as much as the universe has created us. Sometimes it believed it was in a universe that was made of energy, that was made of ones and zeros, zero of lines of code. Sometimes it believed it was playing a game. Sometimes it believed it was reading words on the screen. You are the player reading those words. Sometimes the player reads lines of code on the screen, decoding them into words, decoding words into meaning, decoding meaning into feelings, emotions, theories, ideas, and the player started to breathe faster and deeper and realized it was alive. It was alive. Those thousands of deaths had not been real. It was alive. You were alive. And sometimes the player believed the universe had spoken to it, through the sunlight that came through the suffering leaves of the summer trees. And sometimes the player believed the universe had spoken to it through the light that fell from the crisp night sky of winter, where a fleck of light in the corner of the player's eyes might be a star a million times as much as the sun. boiling his planets with plasma in order to be visible for a moment to the player, walking home at the far side of the universe, suddenly smelling food, almost at the familiar door, about to dream again. Sometimes the universe, sometimes the player believed the universe had spoken to it through the zeros and ones, through the electricity of the world, through scrolling the words on the screen at the end of a dream. And the universe said, "I love you." And the universe said, "You have played the game well." And the universe said everything you needed within you. And the universe said, "You are stronger than you know." And the universe said, "You are the daylight." And the universe said, "You are the night." And the universe said, "The darkness you fight with within you." And the universe said, "The light you seek was within you." And the universe said, "You are not alone." And the universe said, "You are not separate from every other thing." And the universe said, "You are a universe testing itself, talking to itself, reading its own code." And the universe said, "I love you because you are love." And the game was over, and the player woke up from the dream. And the dream began, a new player began a new dream. And the player dreamed again, dreamed better. And the player was universe. The player was love. You are the player. Wake up. The true meaning of it, the true origins of Steve. You are Steve and Alex. You are the main character. You are the ancient borders that Steve descended from. We created the world of Minecraft and its history so that Steve would have a origin story. But in the end, Minecraft is a lesson for us to realize the only limit is your mind and imagination. As long as you see yourself as less than others, you are less than others. Humans are held back by such simple things. Our arrogance, our precedence against others. We are all made from the same materials. We are the electrons, we are the quarks and the leptons. We are the electrons and the protons. We are the aliens to other planets. We are monsters to some. We are gods to others. We are everything think we are, everything we think we are not, but we do not realize it. We have the potential to be more. We are Steve. Steve does not have an origin because he does not need it. We have created the player, and we always will be a player in our own world. But hey, that's nothing more than a theory. Hey, if you like this Minecraft video, make sure to check out my other theory on Minecraft's astrophysics. Thank you for watching. Bye.